الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام. الحمد لله الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ونبيك وحبيبك وصفيك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأطيب وأطهر ما صليت على أحد من العالمين. وصل على أخيه ووصيه من بعده علي أمير المؤمنين. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين. وصل اللهم على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف القائم الحجة المهدي أرواحنا فداه. وعجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل مخرجه وجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه والذابين والمقاتلين بين يديه بإذن الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My beloved brothers and sisters, as I'm talking to you now, there are over 15 million Muslims who came from around the world, from every corner of the globe, to commemorate the message and the mission of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in the land of Karbala. Over 15 million people. This is a miracle by itself, my dear brothers and sisters. Where in the world you know any other human gathering as large as this one, where people motivated by nothing, by no fear, by no other factor other than their deep faith, conviction and love for the Prophet and his family, would leave everything behind, their family members, their livelihood, their businesses, and they come to the land of Karbala facing all type of risks for one reason: to pay their allegiance to a man who was killed 14 centuries ago because he wanted to keep Islam alive, because he wanted to save Islam. Is there any other victory parallel to this one? Do you know any other triumph other than this one, as big as this one? Imam Hussein was killed 14 centuries ago, but his message resonates in the mind of billions of people around the world today. His message has been able to captivate billions of hearts, that many of them would come to celebrate his legacy, the legacy of resisting aggression and injustice. Over 15 million people. Can you imagine this number? People who came from all around the world. Is there any other victory as big as this one? Is there a bigger victory? Imam Hussein alayhi salam indeed was the triumphant. When the family of Ahlul Bayt, Sayyida Zainab, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhim salam, and the rest of the family were taken as war captives from Karbala to Syria, the day after the Battle of Karbala, Sayyida Zainab looks at her nephew, Imam Zain al-Abidin, who was going through deep grief and depression due to the martyrdom of his brother, his father, and 17 members of his family, whom he has seen killed, and dismembered. Their body was dismembered and disfigured. His father's head was severed. Horses trampled over the body of his father. He saw that with his own eyes. And the family of the Prophet left Karbala while the body of Imam Hussein was not even buried. It was kept naked in the desert of Karbala along 72 other martyrs. Ibn Ziyad was quick to bury all his own soldiers. The only bodies remaining without burial was the body of the son of Rasulullah and his family. That was such a depressing view for Imam Zain al-Abidin. He grieved a lot for the scene of his father's body kept unattended and buried, naked, dismembered and disfigured. But look at the wise lady Zainab, who inherited her power, her strength from her father Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. She tells her nephew Zain al-Abidin, قالت ما لي أراك تجود بنفسك يا بقية جدي وأبي وإخوتي. My beloved nephew, why do you do this to you? I see you're grieving a lot over what happened. I understand why you grieve, but don't grieve a lot, because I have good news for you. فوالله إن هذا العهد من الله إلى جدك وأبيك ولقد أخذ الله ميثاق أناس لا تعرفهم فراعنة هذه الأرض وهم معروفون في أهل السماوات أنهم يجمعون هذه الأعضاء المقطعة والجسوم المضرجة فيوارونها. I have good news for you, my dear nephew, that there are people on earth who are not known to the tyrants, but they are known by Allah, who will be commissioned by Allah to come out and take all these bodies and bury them. ثم ينصبون بهذا الطف على قبر أبيك سيد الشهداء علما لا يدرس أثره ولا يمحى رسمه على كرور الليالي والأيام. And I have another news for you, my dear nephew, that those supporters of your father will set a flag for your father that will keep waving till the day of judgment, and millions, she didn't say millions, I am saying that, many other followers will come to keep the message of your father so alive in the heart of people. وَلَيَجْتَهِدَنَّ أَئِمَّةُ الْكُفْرِ وَأَشْيَاعُ الضَّلَالِ فِي مَحْوِهِ وَتَطْمِيسِهِ فَلَا يَزْدَادُ أَثَرُهُ إِلَّا عُلُوًّا. And all the tyrants will do their best to stop that light, that influence, but they will not be able to do that. In fact, if anything, the light will increase day by day. The impact will increase day by day. Wasn't she telling us the truth? Now, after 14 centuries of Imam Hussein's martyrdom, 15 million people coming from all around the world, celebrating and commemorating his mission. Every single person, no matter who, when he dies, his lovers, his followers will feel the pain and will grieve. But over the time, by the time we go deep into history and we go further from the time of his death, people will get to forget him, except Imam Hussein alayhi salam. The more you go further in history, the further we go in time, people will feel the heat and love and passion for Hussein year by year and day by day. Isn't that a miracle by itself? إن لقتل الحسين حرارة. This is what the Prophet says. إن لقتل الحسين حرارة في قلوب المؤمنين لا تبرد أبدا. For the martyrdom of Hussein, this is what the Prophet says, there is a deep, burning passion in the heart of the believers that will never extinguish, will never stop. Year by year, we see that the message and the celebration and the commemoration is growing and growing and growing. My dear brothers and sisters, before I conclude, I want to address two other issues really quick, and then I shall wrap up, inshallah. One is what happened last week, Sunday, in Texas, Sutherland, where a terrorist, and I underline the word terrorist, a white terrorist, entered a church. 50 or so people were there gathering to peacefully celebrate their weekly religious service. And this white terrorist chose to kill some 27, 28 innocent individuals while doing their worship service at the church. Now, of course, we offer our condolences to American people, to the church itself, and to the family members of the injured one, and to those who were killed. We deeply offer our condolences to the affected one. But also, it is not enough to express our regret. There should be calls on our officials, our federal government and local government, to impose more gun control, to stop those massacres from happening in the future. Every now and then we see a similar event taking place by those white terrorists in the United States. Just a month ago, we witnessed another massacre in Las Vegas, where almost 60 people were killed, 500 people were injured. So our officials, our senior officials, our congressmen and women, our senators need to act immediately and impose gun control, defying the lobbying of gun companies and putting the interests of the American people before their personal interest. Enough is enough. There is so much blood being shed in this country by reckless white terrorists. And I want to stop for a minute by the word white terrorist. Every time the perpetrator is white, what does our media tell us? What does our president tell us? He's mentally troubled. He's mentally troubled. Haram. He needs help. If he was Muslim, they would immediately condemn him and his religion for teaching him to kill innocent people. But if he's white terrorist, no. There is no further step taking. All they do, they offer condolences to the family. In fact, our own President Trump manifested and he expressed conspicuously his bigotry during the last attack. A week before, someone from Uzbekistan killed innocent people, 8 people in New York. And our president was quick to demand canceling the diversity immigration plan, imposing stricter measures on immigration procedures, and also calling for extreme vetting of new immigrants. But look at his hypocrisy, our president's hypocrisy. 2 days later, when this attack took place in Texas, what did he say? He commented that it is too soon to ask for gun control, more gun control. It's too soon. Mr. President, you claim that you are there to protect American life. So how come when 8 people in New York get killed, you find you find it in yourself very important and urgent to call for protecting the life of Americans and keeping them away from the harm of so-called Muslim terrorists. But when 27 American people are killed in Texas by a white terrorist, you think it is too soon? Why this double standard? Why this hypocrisy? Let me tell you something, my dear brothers and sisters, and I am 100% sure of that Trump does not care about any American life. All he cares about pleasing and appeasing his popular base, his supporters. He is offering ear candy to his supporters only. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear their president becoming a macho, showing and flexing his muscles over Muslim immigrants. But when it comes to a white terrorist killing innocent people, innocent Americans with the cold blood, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. If he really cared, why he would not take serious measures in stopping those measures from happening? So, we ask again, in the name of American people, as American citizens, that our president, our officials, senior officials, need to do more to protect American lives without discriminating against any religious group. Terrorism is terrorism. There is no good terrorism and bad terrorism. There is no tolerable violence and intolerable violence. All violence should be intolerable by our government, by our president. My final comments, my dear brothers and sisters, is in what happened in Saudi Arabia last week. Last week, the Saudi government announced that they are going to fight corruption. And therefore, they are going to arrest many people involved in corruption, including some senior officials, emirs, princes, and ministers. And they did. They arrested over 200 people so far, including some ministers, citing corruption in Saudi Arabia, that those people have been milking the country and its treasury and its wealth to promote their own personal gain and wealth. Well, when you hear about the news, apparently you need to cheer those news that finally a government in the Middle East, in a rich country like Saudi Arabia, has decided to fight corruption. But when you think deeply and you read more, you find out that this was not about corruption, rather about consolidating power and eliminating any threat faces the new crown prince who is aspiring to be the undisputed leader and king of Saudi Arabia. The reason I say this, because look who's talking about corruption. Mohammed ibn Salman is talking about corruption and vowing to fight corruption. Read yesterday's New York Times. This is not an Iranian newspaper. This is not a Syrian newspaper. This is an American newspaper. One of the most respected newspapers around the world. Go and read it. It says last summer, Mohammed ibn Salman was in southern France, walking on the beach when he spotted a yacht, a luxury yacht, and he liked it. Without even going inside, looking at it, vetting it, he decided to purchase it. For how much? Nothing. $550 million. That's it. Where did he get this money from? Haram. The man worked so hard for it. He worked so hard. He's only 32 years old. He worked very hard. Him and his father and his brothers, they worked very hard. They worked day and night to make that income. who you are fooling, Muhammad ibn Salman. If you are fighting corruption, start with yourself, with your family. Read the article in New York Times that most of the corruption done in Saudi Arabia now is made and done and conducted by his own brothers, Muhammad ibn Salman's brothers. It is them who are looting the country. Not only Al-Walid ibn Talal and other guys. Those people, Al-Walid and others, are being used as a scapegoat. So it is what it is. And the funny thing is, our president, either he is naive or he pretends to be naive, cheering the operations in Saudi Arabia on Twitter, saying, yes, Muhammad ibn Salman and his father they do know exactly what they are doing. They are putting those people who have been milking Saudi Arabia under check. Now, you cannot deceive me by that, Mr. President. Saudi Arabia has been a farm, has been treated as a private farm for the royal family, and particularly for this current king. In fact, the writer Thomas Friedman was suggesting that Saudi Arabia changes its name from Saudi Arabia to Salman Arabia, because it's no longer about the Saudi family. It is about the king and his inner family, who have been looting and plundering the treasury of this country. Also, in the same line, the world was stunned when we found out that the Prime Minister of Lebanon, a Prime Minister of a sovereign country, being held as a hostage and being forced to offer his resignation from Riyadh. Now, it has never been done like this. This is a precedent where a prime minister of a country would declare his resignation from another capital other than his own capital. Where in the world? Imagine the prime minister of Great Britain, England, would go to India and he would declare and announce his resignation from India or from Japan. And the irony is that in his statement, Rafiq al-Hariri, whom he was forced to read, he accused Iran of meddling in the Iranian affairs. Who is meddling in Lebanese affairs? Who is really meddling in Lebanese affairs? Iran, or the country that hijacks the Prime Minister of Lebanon, puts him under arrest, bar him from traveling, and force him to resign? Who is meddling in Lebanese affairs? And the Saudis need to learn. It is about time that their money and their arrogance will not buy them respect anywhere or obedience by any nation around the world. Yes, there are a few puppets in Lebanon and elsewhere who would cheer anything Muhammad ibn Salman would do, even if it comes on the cost of disrespecting their own country. But Lebanese people will teach Saudis that it is the Lebanese people who will choose their prime minister. And it is the Lebanese people who will choose who will run their affairs, not the Saudis. No government in the world has the right to impose on Lebanese people whom they should choose for their government, for their prime minister, for their president. And only Lebanese people have the right to choose their leaders. The Saudis need to learn that. It is about time that they do not consider other countries, particularly Lebanon, as their backyard. Anytime they want to do something and mistreat that country and consider it as it is subordinate or a puppet country, they can do that. They need to know that they cannot do this anymore. It is not up to them. It is up to the Lebanese people. And we call on the Saudi government to release the Prime Minister who was forced to resign and who was forced to give a statement against his own people and against his own nation to please another foreign nation. My dear brothers and sisters, I remind you of three things that today, I'm sorry, it may take a little bit time, but it's okay. Between the two Salat al-Dhuhr, Salat al-Jum'ah, Friday prayer, and Asr, we will be reciting Ziyarat al-Imam al-Hussein. Today is the Arba'een, and the Ziyarah is highly mustahab today. I will be reciting the Ziyarah, and it will take no more than 10 minutes between the Jum'ah prayer and the Asr prayer. So I would ask you to join us. Also, I remind you, my dear brothers and sisters, that the Arba'een program is continuing tonight and tomorrow night. The Arabic program, the Arabic lecture is given by me at 8 p.m., followed by an English lecture by our dear brother Haj Hassanin Rajab Ali. ابتداء من يوم الثلاثاء القادم سنبدأ جلسات تفسير القرآن، دروس في تفسير القرآن باللغة العربية كل يوم ثلاثاء الساعة 7:30 مساء هنا في المنتدى الإسلامي. أطلب من الذين يرغبون بالحضور والمشاركة أن يشاركوا. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات، إنك مجيب الدعوات، إنك قاضي الحاجات، إنك على كل شيء قدير. وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات وشفاء مرضانا وقضاء حوائجنا نقرأ السورة المباركة الفاتحة.